Welcome to the iNetrepreneur Radio Show. We are so honored to bring you your host, the ultimate celebritypreneur, connecting businesses and celebrities worldwide. Winner of the Networking Organization of the Year, best-selling author, magazine publisher, trainer, and owner and founder of Network Together and the iNetrepreneur Media Network for magazines, TV, and radio network. We're excited to bring you your host, Mr. Robert W. Jones.
Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to a wonderful Thursday. It's 2:30 in the afternoon here in sunny, extraordinarily hot Arizona. But what else would it be this time of year if it's not at least 110 degrees? I would really be confused in what state I was living with. You know, I'm really excited for our guests today. They are both phenomenal friends that I have known for several years, but I want to get to a little bit of housekeeping for the iNetrepreneur Network first. We have our forthcoming international #1 best-selling series book, The Art of Connection, 365 Days of Gratitude Quotes. And that comes after the preceding books, The Art of Connection, 365 Days of Networking Quotes, 365 Days of Inspirational Quotes, and then 365 Days of Transformational Quotes. Each one of those quotes gives a little piece of an entrepreneur, business owner, or influencer's heart as a gift to the world through their own quote, their personal thought, and a question to the reader. And what's been really amazing about that is this gift is starting to take fire from students in classrooms to networking organizations to associations to even people utilizing it as a daily read. And so I'm really excited and honored that people are using this book, you know, to further themselves in both their heart set and mindset. We have a special offer right now. We have a BOGO offer. Buy a page, get a page. That's BOGO. Buy a page, get a page, something like BOGO. It's $269 for 2 pages, and you can reserve your place in the next Art of Connection book, 365 Days of Gratitude Quotes. I want to remind you, please like us on Facebook at facebook.com/iNetrepreneur Radio or YouTube at youtube.com/iNetrepreneur Radio. And you know what? It subscribes out, sends you a little thing, says, hey, we're on the air. Come join us, have fun, ask questions in our little comments area. We'd love to hear from you. I'd love to ask your questions. Also, we publish 2 magazines. One magazine's the iNetrepreneur magazine. It's at iNetrepreneurmagazine.com or the contemporarywoman.com magazine. Great women. But we both have men and women subscribers to both those magazines. And we love that our iNet Publishing creates those, and we bring those out on a monthly basis. Next is NT Events. Please go to NT Events for all of our academy classes, chapter meetings, and even our Ultrapreneur event, which is coming up the 26th and 27th of this month, where entrepreneurs can learn how to, you know, get on stages, get in pages, do engages, and scale and expand their business for their own legacy, for themselves, their family, and their community. So I am going to get on with it today because I could talk about the iNetrepreneur Network for hours upon hours because you know what? I love it, and I love all the people in it. But a person that is very, very dear to my heart, I love just as much, and I want to bring her on right now, and that is Ms. Natalie McQueen. Hi, Natalie. How are you?
Hi, Robert. I am fantastic. How are you?
I am doing good. I put it on just a few moments ago. We are definitely in the summer heat in Arizona. But, you know.
Absolutely. No doubt of that when you get in your car on a leather seat with a skirt and turn on your car and it says 117. I mean, it's a whole new language.
You know, I know. I still remember, you know, it was a couple of years ago and I saw the temperature gauge and it said 121.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, believe me, when I was 18, even when I was 35, I don't think I would have never thought that I would have seen 121 on my temperature gauge of my car. And believe me, I think the seats were about 140 degrees or more, you know, when I sat on them as well. I learned that leather was not for me anymore in this state. So everyone, I'm with Natalie McQueen. She's a speaker, a publisher, a best-selling author, and owner and founder of Gifts of Legacy. You can contact her at giftsoflegacy@gmail.com. Again, that's giftsoflegacy@gmail.com. or she's brave enough to have you call her at 480-358-5702. Natalie, I am, I have to say, for me, you're far more than a speaker. You're far more than a publisher. You're a friend, and you're one that's really helped me, create the confidence to do the things in my life that I thought I would never do again. After the first book, I like to say it was the hardest thing I'd ever did in my life was going into Marine Corps boot camp for 12 weeks. And the first book came, and I thought, that's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Then we got to the second book, which was 365 days of inspirational quotes. And I remember telling you, I said, boy, that's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. But you were there every step of the way, cheering me on and helping me, just get through that, because I don't think there's a lot of publishing companies that actually put 365 different authors into a book, do they?
No, they don't. And those feelings are right back at you, Robert. We've gone through a lot to make these books such a meaningful and beautiful thing. And I love that you're just one after the other, brand new topics, brand new co-authors. Book 4 is going to be phenomenal.
I've had a little bit of time to go through and read some of the pages that people have submitted already, and it's really funny. It's not just that each book is so wonderful in its own right. It's really that each book seems to build upon each other. It
Right.
seems to be doing the things that you do for people as well, and that's help create legacy. And I'm seeing this evolvement of networking to inspiration to transformation, and now to this word of gratefulness, of just being, and living life in this whole new reality. I mean, are you seeing that people are kind of coming back in really looking at gratefulness in a different way, and also even legacy?
Absolutely. I think the last couple of years have made people stop and think. Like, we've all known people that have lost people. We all know people that, have had hardships and their businesses completely were devastated, or they had to reroute and change things for our current world at the time. And I know for me, it slowed things down and made me really think of, thank God I have the people in my life that I do. And that when we take the time and build those relationships and help each other, then when times are tough, you can count on those people and you can reach out a hand when they need help. And that's one thing. Gratitude. I think one of the things for Gifts of Legacy that was really important for me is to make a line of journals, because I was never a big writer, like a daily writer, or the diaries as a child. But I see the value of putting down thoughts and asking yourself questions. If you can't figure it out, ask a question. And all of a sudden your mind goes to town and tries to figure it out, and you'll just have ideas come up, or the answer that you need. And so gratitude journaling, the attitude of gratitude daily is something that I've incorporated in my life.
And it strikes me, and I want everyone who listens to this show to really understand this, that every moment that goes by, it's a moment that we can't get back. And why I say that is, for the longest time, my grandmother, I mean, just an amazing woman that I've had, day after day would go by, and we were like, let's sit down, let's get her on videotape, let's hear her life story, let's get a piece of her life. And everyone has someone in their family that is amazing, and I quite frankly, everyone is amazing,
right?
And one of the things I say in that is, here's a woman that was born and worked in the bean fields of Nebraska, and ended up, fighting the state board of education in Kansas to get her daughter into a proper school. And, that story, that impact, that meaning, in many ways is gone because we have it in words, but Natalie, we don't have it in her words. And I
Right.
think that's what's so special about your legacy series. You're getting people to slow down and pause and actually see in many ways how great their life is, don't you?
Yeah. So I'm so blessed. I still have my grandmother that will be 104 years old on August 8th. So we're all praying that she'll keep going. And
Hmm.
we know that um, think about what she's seen through 104 years, how her world has changed.
Yeah.
And we did a legacy book for her when she turned 100. And let's see, I'm trying to think. Yeah, so when she was 102, we went back to visit, and she said, no, it was 103. She said, I want to write my own book. And I said, Grandma, are you serious? Because, we kind of did a book with your life story in it. She's like, but I have some other writing. I want to write a book. So I said, okay, I'm your gal, but we need to get moving on this. So sadly, she took all this time and wrote her thoughts in a journal, and she gave it to me. I took pictures of all these pages, and I came back and I started reading through them, and I couldn't read her handwriting all the way.
Oh my goodness.
So it's not over. So my parents are going to go down and sit with her and have her go through the notes. And it's not going to be an Amazon bestseller.
Yeah.
It is going to be for our family only. It's going to be for her to share with her friends and family and whatever she wants to do. But I am going to get her own book in her own hands as soon as I can.
And it's interesting that you say that, because I think sometimes, we push so hard to have a bestseller, but I don't think it isn't that, Amazon puts out 4,400 books on average per day, each and every
Yep.
day, but I think what it really is, it's about preserving the true legacy of the family, the true integrity of, where we've come from, and it gives us kind of a roadmap of where we can go. And
Right.
and those stories that we can learn from our grandmothers, our great grandfathers, etc. I mean, those are the stories that keep that fabric, that bond, of who we are, even if we're thousands miles or even years apart, when people
Yeah.
pass away, aren't they?
Yep. We were talking about this at the dinner table last night, my daughter and my husband and I. And, my husband was saying, because we're going back to Canada in September. And he said, hopefully we'll get to see your grandmother. And I said, oh, well, we have to. She has to live that long, No pressure, Grandma. But think of, like, she is one of the smartest women that I know, and she had a grade 8 education. But how she lived her life and learned and raised 8 children and did everything that she had to do, like made her own jams and jellies and, slaughtered whatever she had to slaughter. And, they did what they had to do. It was hard living back then. Like,
Yeah.
I look now and she probably thinks that life is super easy. You just go to the washing machine and throw the clothes in and push a button, not like wringing them down at the lake. But that's the importance of grabbing those stories now, because we're not guaranteed tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if you don't get them on video, if you don't get them into words, we all have iPhones. Go for a visit, turn on your iPhone, and get whoever it is to tell some stories.
And what I really want to add to that is getting those stories doesn't have to be perfect. It
No.
doesn't have to be in the right lighting. It doesn't have to be in the right area of the house. It doesn't have to have butterflies and waterfalls behind you. I mean, the idea is just getting the words down so that they are saved forever. And
Absolutely.
I look back now and I think about my grandmother, and for every story that I can remember her give me, for every piece of advice that she gifted me, there's so many that I wish I could retrieve. There's so many that I wish I could go back to and read through again, but those things are gone. And and I think about this because this is an entrepreneurial show, and this is an entrepreneurial business. But I always tell entrepreneurs this, they part of their process really is about helping people live better, more fulfilling and happy lives that have joy.
Mm-hmm.
And in certain ways, stories of your life actually can convey and help people, with the meaning, understanding, and intention of the stories that you tell for even the products and services that you may want to sell them. And and I think about that because the better writers that we become, really the better communicators that we become as well, don't we?
Yeah. So one thing I want to say about that, because that was one thing that I really struggled with. I was the math and science girl. I never had the confidence in my writing.
Right.
And that held me back from writing, from saying, oh, I'm going to write a book. But it came to a point where, I knew my story had to get out. I knew that I had to carry my mission of changing the word legacy so people see it as heartfelt messages, stories of wisdom, recipes, traditions, and stuff that families carry on.
Mm-hmm.
Getting those recorded down on paper, sitting around and talking about the importance. Sometimes we have traditions and we have no idea why we carry them on.
Yeah.
And it's
I think I remember, I think it was you were talking about a tradition, and in the family at one time, family members would pass down the making of bread. And so it was like, in the making of bread, the family was always cutting off both ends and
it was the ham. Yes. I
oh
know.
yeah, and it was just like, why do the ends keep getting cut off? And the answer was, I don't know. We've just been doing it for so long. We just cut off the ends. And what it was because at one time they didn't make whatever kitchen utensil to fit the size of it.
Yeah.
So it got passed down, and all of a sudden everyone in the family was like, well, you know what? We don't have to cut these ends off anymore.
Yeah. It's true. And the other thing too, though, on that is sometimes we carry beliefs, traditions, and if you don't stop and think about those, not all traditions, like that example, serve us anymore. So that's when you can look at your family and say, doing that we don't need to do that. Let's replace it with another tradition.
Yeah.
And that's where legacy is not for old people. Legacy is to start right away. So think about, a young mother that doesn't know, she assumes she's got years, but she doesn't know if she's going to get into a car accident or, be diagnosed with something and not be there for her children. How easy is it to take her cell phone and read that favorite book? Just share messages, hold up a picture and share your meaning and the memories behind that picture, and then store them in a file where people know where they are. And that's what I help people to design their legacy, If you think that Apple is going to say, oh, well, Jason passed away and he pays every month and it's on automation, and the family didn't know about that because it's a business credit card.
Right.
So we're just going to store those for Jason forever because they're important family pictures. Not going to happen, right? Payments stop, and Apple or whoever, your storage is gone. Those pictures, those memories are gone. And that's where I have partnered with a company that will ensure your storage for your lifetime and 100 years. So you buy it once and it's done. And you can have a beneficiary on your account. You can have different folders, and you could say, well, this is a folder that I want to share with the kids. This is a folder with our important documents. This is a folder for, friends and family. And so thinking about your legacy when you're younger and building it, it's something that you continually work on. You share your wisdom. If you learn something that can help someone else, mentor someone, share your wisdom, share your stories, and save someone from, some
share
mistakes.
your journey. I mean, really just share your journey. And I say that because I just had my ancestry done. And you look at like, gosh, who am I and what am I made of and where do I come from? And you look at all these different areas and you look at all these different places and you think, man, all these stories that are out there that could be amazing. And I want to point out, Daniel Faust wrote something in here. He goes, you can edit the rest after you get the wisdom, going back to not being a great writer.
Yes.
Again, it goes back to, the proper lighting, but also the proper writing. It always goes back to, starting somewhere.
Yep.
And I always like to say, even the world's greatest marathon runners had to start by putting their shoes on, one at a time.
Right. Yeah.
But, the other things that come from it too, Natalie, and you've heard me tell this story before, and it's how the whole book series for the Art of Connection came along. And, Troy, one of my sons, he was listening and he goes, Dad, you old people have it all wrong, because we weren't really talking about stuff.
Right.
And he says, the old people have it all wrong. When you talk about legacy, it seems like you always talk about stuff. And he goes, when you talk about legacy, shouldn't it be about knowledge? Because you can always have your stuff taken away, but you can't have that knowledge taken away if you have it right here. And that's something that he learned just in the conversations that you and I have. It's very important to know, that life can be a mess in what you do, like having these different areas, for someone who comes behind you. And that's what you're talking about. It's actually kind of coming with a working manual of that person's life and how to continue it and honor them, isn't it?
Right. I mean, Troy, that was brilliant. Smart boy sees, a bigger picture. And it's so true. My motto is don't leave a mess, leave a legacy. Yeah. Don't stress your family out and don't have your important documents, first of all, filled out. Second of all, where are they? Who knows where they are? Who's the contact person? What's your password to get into your computer to get the family pictures or your writings or whatever? Mm-hmm. It doesn't take a lot of time. And in a couple months, my product is going to come out that's going to help so many people put all of these things into one place and have it. So they think about things that, aren't always easy to talk about. But if you talk about it and write it down now, you're saving the family possibly disputes and conflicts of, she would want that. No, she would want this.
And it's so incredible because you never know where this is going to go. I watched this show and it's not a plug for the show. And I'm not saying I watched it all the time, but I happened to catch an episode some time back and it was called Bar Rescue. And
Oh yeah.
what was interesting is you had the generation who started the business, you had the next generation take over the business, and they were ready to, turn the business over to the kids, so the grandkids of the original owner. But the thing is the business kind of evolved, and it wasn't the same in the old timers didn't see it in the way that the father's eyes did, and it was going to be could be very different than what the children's eyes were. But see, what happened is the father had written some notes, and when they were doing the remodel, they found the notes in the desk, and all of a sudden, the spirit of what the bar and the
That's
business was
cool.
about, they were able to recapture it as son and daughter, and and then the son and daughter of the grandparents, and they were they're able to capture that again. And that's why I tell people, legacy isn't just the personal side, it can also be the family business. You're capturing not just how to do the business, but you actually in a way can kind of capture the spirit of the business, which I think many times is far more important, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. That's what brings other families and friends into that place, because they love either the people or the feel or the food, or, what makes it special. We have an Italian restaurant that we go to over and over because Gigi is the owner, and she makes you feel like you are her number one priority, and she's been waiting for you to come back. But she does it to everybody. She's
Yeah.
just amazing.
And it goes back to that saying, what's the most important thing when you enter any room? It's a smile.
Yeah.
And I am such a believer in that. One of the things that we haven't talked about before, and we've always threatened to talk about, and I want to bring this out there, and we never get to it, but
I'm scared.
yeah, and it's really, really important, because it might be a concept that a lot of people don't know about, and that is actually creating a legacy list. Tell us a little bit about, what a legacy list is and how it benefits, the person who creates it.
Absolutely. So I don't know if I branded that name. I haven't heard it
I'll
anywhere
say that
else.
you did. Robert says it, then you did it. Okay.
Right? But bucket list, when I thought of bucket list,
Mm,
it wasn't enough. For me, a bucket list is like, I want to jump out of a plane. I want to go to Europe someday. I want to, those kind of things.
yeah.
A legacy list is, how do you want to be remembered? If you want to be like a member of the community that helped the elders, build a new building, or whatever you want to be remembered for, then you need to start taking the steps now towards that end. If you want to be remembered as, the mom that was always active in your child's life, you can't start when they're 40. These are things that you need to think about. What do you want to be? What do you want to be remembered for? What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? Do you want to write a book? Do you want to jump out of a plane? Do you want to go travel?
Yeah.
So on a legacy list, it's everything. But you don't just stick them on a list. You stick them on a list, and then you pick in different areas of your life ones that you can start implementing now. And maybe it's that, okay, I want to go to Europe for a month. So maybe it's not quite in the budget now. We'll price it out, look online, start figuring out, airline tickets, where you want to stay, where you want to travel, who you want to go with. Put the trip together like you're going to do it, and then make it happen. If it's X amount of money and you don't have it, then do extra to get that money. If
Absolutely.
it's not education. How many people die with regrets because they say, I should have finished my education, or I wish I would have, wrote a book. We hear that all the time. 2% of people actually write a book. 80% of people say they want to.
And one of the things that I love that you're saying about that, I think what we should say is, I want, we should be thinking about things as experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a way to say, I want to experience something, because, because that's many times as much a value as education. Natalie, it's 30 minutes goes by so quick, when you and I get together, and, I'd written a note, and you have gone above and beyond, with the art of connection, but you have a special fondness and passion for compilation books. And sometimes I think to myself, oh my gosh, I hope she never gives that up, because I'm in real trouble. So, what is it about compilation books, that are so exciting, and why you're so passionate about them, and why you pursue them when actual other publishers don't? Tell us a little bit.
It is a bit like herding cats sometimes.
Yes, it is.
What I love is it's like-minded people brought together on one subject and sharing their hearts. So it's not one author's book, which is great. I'm not knocking authors.
No, absolutely. But it's a different thing. It's like a truck versus a car. We love them both.
Right. It's little pieces of people's hearts or wisdom all pieced together on a topic. And so, like gratitude. I mean, who doesn't want to read a little piece of gratitude every day for 365 days? So I help people that have a passion put together the setup, put together the mindset where, you can make a profit from doing a compilation book, or it can be just a passion project. So whatever your wants or needs, being part of a passion project of somebody else's compilation book, like The Art of Connection, gets you in the door for writing. You don't have to write a ton. It's a little piece. You get to interact with the other authors, get to know. I mean, I have done every book that I have been in. I've met new people and done business with them. I referred them. They have referred me. It's a beautiful thing. I love compilation books. And we have 3 coming out soon on legacy.
Yeah. Natalie, thank you so much for being on the show. Everyone, I am with Natalie McQueen. She's a speaker, a publisher, best-selling author, #1 international best-selling author, I might say. Natalie and I teach a class almost every Tuesday. We do take a little time off at the end of the year to help publishers gain knowledge of the publishing industry and how to best, utilize their skills and offer their gift of words to the world. And we do that every Tuesday from, 9:30, normally 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. each Tuesday. And we love doing that together. You can contact Natalie at giftsoflegacy@gmail.com. Again, that's giftsoflegacy@gmail.com. Or she's brave enough to put her phone number here, 480-358-5702. Natalie, thank you so much for being on the show today. I appreciate you so much. You are a great friend. And, I love, what I really love doing? I love it when those first-time authors call us up and they say, it's only 1 page, but gosh, after I wrote it, I got the book in the mail, and then all of a sudden their page is so much bigger, when they feel that book and they feel the power of being published.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Robert.
Thank you, Natalie. I will talk to you again soon, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Bye. Wow. Thank you again so much, Natalie, for being on the show today. I appreciate you so much. And I appreciate that you're helping give the opportunity of a legacy for all of us. And whether it be large or small, Natalie has a place where she can help you, do the things that you thought you might not have ever done before. Because one, she has the talent. Two, she has the true heart. And three, we have the technology today to do these things. And again, I want to thank Natalie so much for being on the show today. And again, please reach out to her and get with her, because she will be your next best friend. I am sure of it. And now I'm so excited to bring one of my best friends and a conspirator in getting me into this crazy, industry of self-awareness, personal development, and just putting yourself out there. And I want to bring her to the table right now. It is Angel Marie. Angel, hello. How are you?
Fabulous. Thank you so much for having me on and allowing me to share with your tribe. I just adore you, and thank you so much. I just had to show, because you're right. Natalie, I love Natalie. I just adore her also. And it's just so true. So thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Everyone, I am with the wonderful, the amazing, the almost magical, maybe magical. To me, she's magical. Angel Marie Monachelli. She's a Reiki master, a TV host, a best-selling author, and owner and founder of Angel Marie Inc. Oh my gosh, Angel Marie Inc. Wow, listen to that. You can contact her at AZ for Arizona, lightworkersgifts at gmail.com. Or she's brave too. You can call her at 623-334-3393. Angel, again, I'm so excited to have you today, because I feel like I'm with two of my, I am. It's not like I am with two of my best friends, period, on the show today. And I'm telling you, when you get into business, to me, it's so much better to get into business with people that love, and trust. I hear it so often, know, like, and trust. I mean, I don't advocate for people I like. I advocate passionately for people I love. And you and Natalie are that. And, I'm going to go back just a little bit of time, Angel. And you were there. And I was there. And I really started thinking about the legacy of me being in this world. I'm just an old tech guy. I am. Used to create softwares, used to do front-end coding, work for like Intuit and GoDaddy and Linsco Private Ledgers and some other companies. And I remember I was invited to come out to an event. I'd never done that thing ever before in my life. And I was like, maybe this is something I should try and do. And I remember that was the first time I had met you. And I remember I immediately fell in love with you. Let's say I fell in love with what you're doing, because I thought to myself, how can this person have so much fun and have a business too? And that really was, Angel, the starting point of Network Together, which was a networking organization going from just networking to much of the groundwork of what you see today. And I've never actually publicly told you that. And I wanted to know, you gave me a lot of the courage, because this was even pre-Sean, my lovely wife, this was pre-Sean, and you were like, you and Silo Moses were the two people that said, Robert, you have a message and a gift. And if you don't get it out there, no one will ever know. And I just want to say thank you for that. I mean, this is your segment, but I just want to take a little time to say thank you for that. Okay.
You are so welcome, Robert. And, I'm blessed that I can do this for so many people that are they're searching, or they're just waiting to ignite it. And you always had it in you. And thank you. I appreciate that. And I will take that in. Absolutely. That's a gift. That is a gift. And I always say that, ignite your energy, ignite your gifts. And that's really what happened. You learned energy, you learned understanding, and then all of a sudden, all this, and it was always there. So thank you. You are so welcome.
And that's where I had my first understanding of, we don't have to go searching for our gifts. We don't have to go searching for our gifts. What our life really is meant to do is find the pathways to best utilize our gifts so we can serve. And that is really what I found. And once I started looking at the gifts and the talents of people, and it is a crazy world at some time. There is so much to do and so many places to go and so many emails to read and so many things to write and so many, you know, opportunities that are put on our lap. But at the end of the day, if you sit in that quiet space, in that quiet moment, that place of that internal meditation, you get to the point of it all making sense, don't you?
Absolutely. It all makes sense when we get quiet. And then, yes, when we raise our energy, when you do that shining, but yet it is in that quiet time when we come from right here of what is important and who am I?
Yeah. And one of the things that you've taught me is each and every morning I do my exercises, I do my meditation, and I drink my water with lemon. And and people may say, well, so what? Does that really matter? And I say that because it doesn't seem like a lot. But here's the thing. In each and every moment, it's everything. And each and every moment that I do it, it builds. And so, after you do it a month, a year, 5 years, all that I'm doing, it almost like, I don't know how to say it, biomechanically or mentally or heart, it really does start to change because I can kind of feel it drawing through every cell in my body. And I don't know if I'm right saying that. Is there any truth to that? But it does seem like there's this ongoing magic if I just continue to do the process.
I love how you put it because it is a magic because we really truly are just a vibrational field of circuits. We really
Yeah.
are. And you hit it and it is a heart thing, but our heart has more vibrational fields, energy and neural nets than anything else. So yes, you're right on. As you keep doing this, you're building, your lenticular brain starts to take up, and this is scientific, and it starts to take away that loop that says, I can't do it. And why do I bother? And, oh, I'm tired. And, oh, I only got 2 hours sleep or whatever that is. And it takes that away and it's setting the tone. And 5 years, 6 years, 7. Yeah. And you have, it's been, and you keep building. So when you get up in the morning and something does happen, you go, okay, we'll get through it.
Yeah.
Because you're not going off. So that's beautiful because really that is about understanding, not just here, but really experiencing and that energy and what energy really is vibrationally.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I hear, out there is, becoming bulletproof, making yourself bulletproof, making your business bulletproof. And, it's like, and I found is it bulletproof that I'm looking for? And as I go through this life, I'm finding that if I just attempt to keep trying to become this bulletproof person, what it really does is it creates, bulletproof is really a barrier. And I am not trying to create a barrier around myself. I'm actually attempting to really, absorb and be a part of more and apart from less. And when I'm bulletproof, it actually kind of creates a negative or a contrarian feel to everyone out there and me. And it was the same thing. We talked about this before the show. And I remember there used to be this word called love thy neighbor. And I felt like, why are we not saying that anymore? Why is it stranger danger? Are we all really danger? Are we all really made of love and true beauty and vibration? Are there a few bad apples? Maybe so. But, I think at the end of the day, I'm learning about embracing and holding positivity in a space in a very internal, personal, and more holistic way. And that's a part of how you help entrepreneurs, isn't it, Angel? Is getting them to remain in the most positive of spaces so they can keep their mind and their heart clear, so they can move on and make the best decisions for themselves and those who they serve, correct?
Oh, beautifully put, because it really is the pathway, it's a formula to be able to get on that formula, stay on that so that you can serve more, you can make better choices. The key is also is to feel, yes, to feel your energy so that you can make those choices. And that's the thing, is experience and say, my energy doesn't feel, I'm not going to do LinkedIn, this whole course on LinkedIn. I'm just making it up. And then
Yeah.
I think I should go with this coach. Well, that doesn't feel right. Okay,
Right.
it doesn't matter. It looks good on paper. I have the money. I can do. It doesn't feel right to listen and really control headset, your heart set, and your gut set, and that's a vibrational field. So yes, that's how I help entrepreneurs, because we don't even really talk about their business because it has nothing to do with their business. It has everything to do with your energy. You know that, each and every one of you viewers that are watching, you know that it has to do with, people go, oh, I like her energy. Oh, I can feel that energy. It's so, oh, when I'm just around her, I feel this way. Yes, it's the field, it's a vibration, it is frequency. So I love helping entrepreneurs and even people that go into work and they're just in the every day, in that hamster wheel, helping them to connect to their energy, not just with Reiki, not with just angel card reading, not all of those. It's coming over here and saying, I can help you with your energy. So thank you. Yes, exactly.
And the other things that I really see you, and I'm saying this from me personally, because it goes back to, like, Natalie talking about legacy and some of the thoughts in growth that I've had. When you start doing these things, you also get this sense you're decluttering, in these blind spots, in these energy stoppages, in these points of can't turn into the points of can, because all of a sudden you become more of a proactive energy creator than one who's kind of taking on other people's energies. You're able to kind of glow stick in and become the energy and the source for others, not with attachment, but with warmth. And see, and once entrepreneurs also start doing that, they actually become more of an extension outward of themselves. And to me, in a way, it's almost like you help entrepreneurs create their own it factor.
Oh, Robert, I love how you put things. You're just such a great interviewer and how you see and put things together. So thank you. It's putting the formula together to help them to really to say, I get to do these things, and let's stay in it positive, because you are really what you think about. 100% done, drop. And that's so true. It's so moving forward. Yes.
And that's why I always say, at one time in my life, I felt my life was just going to be what it was and how it was. And then all of a sudden, when these doors started opening, I came up this whole new mentality that I'm going to do things I've never done. I'm going to say things I've never said. I'm going to, go places I've never gone, and I'm going to learn in ways that I've never learned before. And, that's what you help people do. And the other thing I got from just training with you, Angel, and again, this is where I want to help entrepreneurs understand why you're so important, or Reiki masters, etc., is so important, is by removing these blocks, these self-imposed barriers. All of a sudden you hear that the sky's the limit. Well, people will tell you the sky's the limit, but if you don't have a practice and a process to get to that sky's the limit, you'll never be there. Part of it is you help entrepreneurs create the step ladder of where they want to arrive and go. And this is what's so crazy about it is, when I see the step ladder in my life now, I used to see the step ladder as a bar here, and steps. But now I've seen the step ladder as, like, not this one little skinny little thing going up. I see it as this expanded thing that goes like that, because my ladder has become so wide and so big, and it's made me see, in ways that I've never seen before. And that's why I always say it's so important for anyone into life to have someone work on that energy And really, in certain ways, it creates not only the healing, but it helps your business, because the more you work on yourself, right? Isn't that what Stephen Covey says, right? The more you work on yourself, sharpening the saw, the better you'll do in business.
Oh, so true. So true. And it's helping to see a different perspective of your life, giving you that cheerleading and that accountability, because you have a formula and right there. And that's what, and you got on that, the morning activities. I don't like routine, the morning activities, because it felt good. Because why? Because I was calling or I was texting going, how you doing? Come on, let's keep doing. And that's what helps, because you can go and have a life coach. You can go and have any of those coaches. When you have a Reiki master, a spiritual counselor, and understands the vibrational field of it, then they're holding space for you. Mm-hmm. That is the power of that. And then you have that holding space of all the other students also. Yep. It's powerful, and it helps completely shift. And it also helps you write your story and really connect to that story, because we all have it.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. I will tell you, last year at this time, I wasn't able to drive a car. I had my surgeries, and, I was going through some things and through some, kind of physical ailments. But, one of the things by practicing the energy work that you taught me, it helped me with the practice of the physical therapy and the stretches and the strength activities I had to do to get better. And see, the thing is, my dad taught me, he says, the wonderful thing about knowledge is it could be the most selfish thing that you've ever done, and no one will, be upset, if you pursue it. And he said, the other thing about knowledge is it's transferable. So what you learn with an energy worker can also be transferred into the other areas of your life, including business, including being a better husband, a better father, a better son, etc. And, what are some of the things that you could gift our audience, and what could they do immediately, which would give them a more impact just right away in their life?
Oh, one of the biggest ones. Thank you for asking that. And I wrote 11 of them in here about how to boost your energy, because everything is about how to boost your energy. Because when your energy is high, and it doesn't mean you have to do the shine on shake and you get up. Mm-hmm. Not it. It can be right too. Is once you step into that, you can see more clearly. So what that is, and I'm going to do a simple one, is just clapping your hands. And a lot of us, we go through the day and we go to one thing to the next, either on the computer to the next business meeting, to the next interview, to the next TV show, to, I got to write a chapter. Oh, just keep going though. Just keep going and bringing it around, and you're clearing your nervous system. You're clearing your nervous system. And then what happens is you start to go, this kind of feels funny. This kind of feels great. And then you start to laugh, because you're laughing at yourself, because why am I copying all the time? But I really encourage you to keep doing and coming all the way around and picking up your feet, because you're clearing out your energy. And then you stop. Feel it. Viewers, feel it. You're vibrating. You're vibrating right now. And that's when you're feeling your energy. And that's where we would go in a session and just say, okay, where do you not feel it moving? Yeah. And you never felt that before. So this is my big one that we're going to do today, because there's 11 different ones in the Ignite book. And go ahead and just clap it through, and keep going as long as you can. And Google what happens when you clap. I'm not even going to go into it, what it does.
Absolutely. And another one that I really learned is the power of breathing, the power of breath work. I mean, amazing. And I notice if I don't do my breath work in the morning, I don't breathe as easy during the day. And that I can't help but believe it's because it's a part of you are what you become because of your habits. And, your body has an expectation. And when you don't reach that expectation, whether good habits or bad habits, there is a result from it, isn't there?
There really isn't. And a habit doesn't create this perfect life. A habit creates a permanent behavior. And when you have a permanent behavior, then what happens? And you do it joyously, because if you're going to hang out with me, you're going to do it joyously. Absolutely, it does. Breathing is great. So please, the breath, the diaphragmatic breath, Start to do that every day and get those down, because it will help you to really facilitate and see your life.
You know, in another place that I've seen magic happen is Reiki isn't just to make a person the most empowered person in the world and they're just going to move every mountain. Sometimes just getting up in the morning, you know, is monumental. You know, if you have depression, or if you're physically ailing, or if you've gone through some type of trauma, and you know, there are different ways that a person can get past this trauma, you know, but I feel like Reiki is one of the greatest ways that a person can get back, you know, get out of trauma and you know, open their vibration and their energy fields again. You know, tell everyone, you know, what is it about Reiki that helps people actually accelerate past the trauma and get them into the place of positivity again?
Great question. And the biggest thing is Reiki and universal energy, right? Universal life force energy. We all have it. And the biggest part of that is having a master teacher that is there to help facilitate, but then also to teach, but also it helps you to be in that vibrational field so that you feel safe. Most of us never feel safe. And when we feel safe to be able to explore, we start to become more vulnerable. We start to bring it out, but you're in a safe environment. And that's what Reiki does, because it's energy healing. And it helps you absolutely to feel better, and you're able to explore more. And it gives you more clarity. So the things that are really buried, because I know for me, I buried so many things, and all of a sudden the traumas came out. And it was beautiful because I felt safe with my Reiki master teacher.
You know, and safety is, you know, and I love that the community that I always like to be in is, it's a safe place to go so everyone can grow. And I think we all need a safe place. You know, it's hard to do it all alone. And quite frankly, it's not as fun. It's not as fulfilling. You know, we're meant to do all this together. You know, we're almost at the end of the show, but, you know, Angel, you are a multiple time, you know, best-selling author. You have 2 beautiful books yourself. You know, the first one is Shine On. The second one is Unite. And, you know, anyone can get so much out of those books. And one is just to read them, and the second is to practice them. You know, and another thing that you've done, and I'm so appreciative, if you have been such a great advocate of the book, The Art of Connection, and the book series. And you held the books up, and you have been in every book since the inception, and you're going to be in the 4th book too. And, you know, you have seen this grow as much as Natalie and I have, and it has grown so much tremendously. You know, what is your motivation and reasoning about being in the Art of Connection, and why do you want to continue to grow with it? I want you to, I love you to, but I want to know from you, your reasoning.
My reasoning to be in the books is from the other people that are in iNetrepreneur that I have met. And a lot of these beautiful people are throughout the whole world. So I haven't physically met, but we get to physically meet them. This year, there's going to be a physical meeting. And then also online, I get to, and it is a get to, because it is a very heartfelt. And it is because of you, Robert. And it is because, yes, I helped you get there with some energy and understanding. Yep. So you have created and cultivated a beautiful tribe, group, however you want to look at it, of people that are heartfelt, that are looking to help each other. And that is why I've been here all these years from the start, and I will continue to. And it is because of you, but it's also because, like you said, knowledge can be shared. And you share that knowledge of how to really connect to your energy. And that is why I'm still here, and I will be until we do like 7 or 8, right?
That's right. You know, and I tell people that's what the power of connecting is. I wouldn't be in this business if it wasn't for you and a few friends. And I wouldn't be continuing this book series if it wasn't Natalie and a few friends. And I am more than grateful for it, because, you know, it is a passion project of mine, and I'm passionate about you and Natalie do. And I'm just grateful that you're on the show today. So if you would love to be in the book, The Art of Connection, you can certainly go to 365 Days of Gratitude Quotes for more information. Again, I just want to thank you so much for being here today, Angel. Again, I'm with Angel Marie Monachelli. She's a Reiki master, TV host, best-selling author, multiple times #1 international best-selling author, and owner and founder of Angel Marie Inc. You can contact her at AZ, as in Arizona, lightworkersgifts at gmail.com, or call her at 623-334-3393. Angel, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. I adore you. Love you. Thank you, viewers.
Again, I want to thank both of our guests that were on the show today, Natalie McQueen of Gifts of Legacy and Angel Marie Monachelli of Angel Marie Inc. Two personal friends that I love. They're magical in the ways that they help others. And again, I'm grateful for them being on. We're here every week from 2:30 to 3:30, the iNetrepreneur Network, iNetrepreneur Network radio show. I'm Robert W. Jones, your host. You guys make it a great day, and we will see you next week.
You've been watching the iNetrepreneur Show, a production of the iNetrepreneur Radio Network, with host Robert W. Jones. Join Robert each week as he visits with new and exciting guests who inspire, teach, and mentor entrepreneurs worldwide. Follow Robert each Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, and 8:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time.